How's it going, YouTube? My name is Frank, and what I'm going to be talking about today is the OSI model. OSI standing for Open System Interconnection. The main point of this video is basically I want to give a brief detail of how each of the layers within the OSI model works. And this is for people who are unfamiliar with the OSI model and wants to get a review and things such of that nature. So anyways, let's get started with a diagram of the OSI model. So I have here an example of an OSI model. And to make it simple, an OSI model is basically a representation of how network systems are supposed to communicate to each other. So the job of an OSI model is to break down each component of network communication and sort them out into 7 different layers, which is what we have here. For those who've been in the IT profession for a while, or studying it, you may be familiar with some of these terms like the application layer, transport layer, data link layer. And so basically, again, the point of this video is to describe each of these layers and how they operate. I'm going to start from the user perspective. So the first one will be the application layer. The application layer is basically what the user can see and what the user interacts with. So for example, you have Facebook.com, you have Bank of America. What basic, like I said again, what the user can see and what the user can interact with. Under that, you have the presentation layer. Presentation layer's job is simple. Basically, transform data to what the application layer will accept. Under that, you have the session layer. The session layer is responsible for creating a session to what you're trying to connect to. So, for example, you just say we type in www.facebook.com. Once you hit enter, your computer is trying to create a session to talk to Facebook's web server. Under that, we have transport layer. It's basically where the protocols come in, TCP, UDP, and your transport layer is responsible for determining how much information you send and how much information you're getting back. Next is the network layer. Your network layer, this is where your router operates at. Your IP address and subnet. This is your router will operate on network layer. Next is the data link layer. Your data link layer is where your switch will operate at. You plug your cable into where the control panel in the server room. You have that switch there. That's where layer 2 operates at. Next to your physical layer. Your physical layer is basically all the physical components within your network setup. So you got your patch cables, you got your control panel. Those are examples of physical things. Next, I'm going to show you how you can use this OSI model to troubleshoot network issues that you're having maybe in the office, maybe your network administrators. I know plenty of network administrators that love to use the OSI model to try to get some type of idea of what could be the main issue causing a network error. So before I get show you how you can use the OSI model to troubleshoot different network errors, I want to give you some tips on how I'm able to memorize this thing pretty quickly. So what I like to do is, let's say I have a physical cable. That would be my physical layer 1. I plug into a switch, be the layer 2 data link layer, and if your switch is configured correctly, you're getting indication that a green light flashing saying, hey, I'm getting data. Got your cables plugged into the switch, you're establishing a network. Okay, once you establish a network, you're able to transport information to create a session. You see what I'm going from here? And once you create a session, your presentation layer will basically, like I said, transform that information transform that data into what the application layer will be able to accept. So the application layer is basically what the user sees and what the user is able to interact with. So yeah, just going over that, I always use hand motions. I was using hand motions basically when I was studying for the Security Plus certification. Using hand motions to help you, get this thing down packed and memorize it, because it's very needed, especially if you're doing network certification. OSI model is highly recommended to really go over and study and make sure you retain that information. So yeah, that's basically what I do. Or some people maybe start from the top to the bottom, but whatever way works for you guys. So, using the OSI model to help you troubleshoot different network errors. I often heard about stories about how lots of network issues were because of bad cabling, and I didn't realize how much this was true until I became a network administrator, started working in the job field, and experiencing these type of issues with users. And from my standpoint, what I often would have to deal with is a user moved their computer to a different location without notifying IT at all, and forgot to plug in their network cable. So this would be examples looking at the physical layer one issue. I mean physical layer one, sorry, and determination that it's a cable issue. Another example is unable to receive an IP address. Could be a router issue, checking the router, or it may not be a router at all. Maybe not be, maybe it could be a switch issue. Maybe the switch is not configured correctly. So looking at data link layer 2 or network layer, which is layer 3, can maybe help you resolve that issue. Last but not least is my Outlook says that my data is corrupted. So Outlook is basically telling the user that your data is corrupted, cannot use it, fix it, or fix it in order to use it. So this would be an example of an application issue. So the OSI model is basically not to help you pinpoint the exact issue, but it's to help you get a look in the specific area of where and where you can start from when trying to figure out what's going on with the network, how can I fix it, where do I start from? Because when you have a network issue, it could be tons and tons and tons of reasons on why you're having that issue. So again, the OSI model is not to always help you pinpoint the issue you're having. It's to help you, lighten up the load on where to start from. Again, just to make sure we have this down pat. So we have the application layer, we got the presentation layer, we have the session layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer, and physical layer. So the physical, the cable, all the physical stuff that you have in your network. Data link layer, remember, that will be where your switch will operate. Your network layer will basically be where your router will operate, your IP address and subnet, all of those things. And your transport layer, where your protocols run, how much data you're going to be putting out, how much data you're going to be receiving in. Your session layer was what creates the session. When you try typing in maybe bankofamerica.com, hit enter, it creates a session to connect to another computer. Presentation layer, where the operating system will operate at, transforming those data into what the application layer can or will accept. Then your application layer is basically what you're seeing, what you're looking at right now. You're on YouTube probably, or different channel if you're watching this video, what the user can interact with. And there you go. There you have it. 7 layers of the OSI model. Hope that helped you out. Get a brief idea of what these layers actually do. And thank you very much. Appreciate it. Leave a comment below. Love some feedback. Thank you very much.